Welcome to the first season premiere of the Mike and Mike podcast. I'm Mike Costantino.
Mike Antonio.
This season we're going to try and do some various things. We're going to go on the road a little bit tonight. We're coming to you live from the skate zone in Voorhees. We're going to talk to the head coach of Eastern and one of their senior players, right?
Yes, Connor Riley.
Connor Riley. Throughout the season we're going to try and include all the Tier 1 and Tier 2 teams. At least two at a time, right?
Right.
Talked about it. Mm-hmm. And we're also going to try and have some alumni players that have played in the league, see where they're at now. So it's a new feature we're going to add, and trying to get more publicity for the league.
Yep.
Any updates on the league? Any changes over the season, Mike?
No, teams are basically the same. We only lost one team this year, Middle Township, who's trying to rebuild their organization. They're going to see if they can put the club back together next year. But other than that, we were able to field whoever they had left on the team was St. Joe's and one kid over to Mainland. But other than that, everything seems to be going pretty smooth. Yeah.
So what happens if Middle Township does come back in the league next year? What happens with those players?
Well, I think there's 7 kids on St. Joe's. They're aware of that, so they're only there for the 1 year. So they would be reverted back to Middle Township.
So if Middle Township does come back next year, those 7 players go back to Middle Township.
Yep.
Does that hurt St. Joe's roster-wise?
No, because St. Joe's already has inherited players from Black Horse. Okay. So they're pretty firm. By receiving these players from Middle Township, it only made their club a little bit stronger. Okay. They're able to have a solid JV team and a solid varsity team with numbers, so they're not, struggling with players.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the coach of Eastern,
and
Tony Zuber, and
Connor Riley from Eastern.
We'll be back right after these words. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. I'm sitting here with the coach of Eastern, Tony Zuber. Coach, welcome.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Why don't you tell everybody about yourself and what coaching?
Sure. As far as coaching, I actually started probably 10 years ago, youth hockey over at the Igloo, coaching my younger son, who's now in college. Was there for about 5 years, and then I moved over here to Flyers Youth, coaching my younger son. We've been here 4 years, and it's been quite an experience. And then we started the Eastern probably 4 years ago, because there was a little bit of hiatus there, I think 8 to 10 years, and then we brought it back to Eastern.
Yeah, I know for the longest time, Eastern, I know Pontonio, who was coach of the Eastern back when I first started in '98, and then they didn't have a team forever, and then they merged with
Cherry Hill, EEW, yeah.
EEW for a number of years, and they were pretty successful, but it's nice to see that the Vikings are back. This is the 4th season, right?
Yes, 4th season. The first year we actually won the Tier 2 against, it's actually in double overtime. We beat, I can't think of the team's name now. It's in my mind.
HLV?
No, it wasn't HLV. No. Mike, who did we beat in the first year of the league? Tier 2. It was...
you were in Tier 2, you played...
Kingsway, thank you, Connor. Yeah, it was Kingsway. It was a great game. Overtime, we won 13 seconds in overtime we won. Yes. The kids really liked it. Second year, we moved up a tier. We played Cherokee, and we were fortunate enough to beat them, because they're always a tough component.
They are.
So it was nice to see.
So your second year back, you won the Tier 1 championship, right?
Yes. Yeah, Tier 1 against Cherokee. That was not in overtime. But they're always competitive with us, and it's always nice to see the kids get up for the game. Yes. That's for sure. Yeah. So it's very competitive.
So what do you think is your toughest challenges as a coach?
Toughest challenges? Probably the players. I mean, they're at the age where they've been through AA programs, AAA programs, and it's just to get them to focus on what we're trying to do. Right. That would probably be the toughest thing. Good kids, but it's just difficult to get them all on the same page at times.
And I've been doing these games like 20 some odd years, and a lot of times I see the coaches on the bench going crazy. like losing her temper,
Yeah, yeah.
yelling at the referee. You're not one of those coaches, and that's good. And I'm telling you, it was the same way, because you can't yell at the ref. He's not going to change his mind.
Exactly.
You know, everything is a learning experience. And I think that the kids, in my opinion, feed off what how the coach reacts.
Yep.
So I think if the coach is on the bench, you know, and you accept what the referee calls, then you move on.
Yeah, well, my philosophy is really, if, you know, the ref, it is what it is, so you got to move on. If you complain to the ref, right or wrong, if you complain to the ref, the next game he's going to get you, or during that game. And I just try to let the kids keep their composure, and even if you're down a few goals, keep your composure and just try to work back into it. You know,
I've never seen a ref change his mind after a call.
No, exactly.
It's never happened.
And as you know, hockey is so emotional that, you know, it's like this. So you could be down 2 goals, and 5 minutes later you could be up by a goal or two.
Correct. So in the championship year, what do you think is different? You know, last year you lost, I think, to
Cherokee in overtime.
In
Yeah.
the finals. Right?
Yes. Third game in the finals in overtime.
Finals,
Yes.
And you're up I think you're up 1-0
We were.
in that.
Yes, we
How
were.
does this team this year compare to last year's team? I know you lost Max.
Yeah, we lost Max. Well, I think the biggest loss for us was our goalie, Isaac Bleischer.
Yes.
He was probably our MVP last year. If you look at that season, he was one of the best players on the ice, and especially in that final game.
Did he get the goalie?
No, he didn't, unfortunately, which I was surprised
Yes,
at. But
he should've.
he was a good kid, kept the team together, and he was an excellent goalie. He was by far our best player last year, especially in that last game.
The last game was tremendous. As a matter of fact, I think I said it to Max the first time I saw him play defense.
Yes, he did.
played
Yeah,
a lot of
he'll laugh at that when he hears that. But yeah, that was probably, he was the best player. But that game was one that stands out, because I think we were outshot in that game close to 30 to maybe 15 to 18, and we even had a shot at winning at the end. But unfortunately, you know, Cherokee came out on top.
Yes. It was a great game, though.
Yes.
So who would you say was the most talented player you've coached?
Most talented?
Excluding Connor Riley. I know Connor's in the building, so...
Well, I mean, I would say that I'll go back to our goalie. He was one of the best. I think Max, skating-wise, was one of the best. But I think Connor, I've always told Connor this, is I think he's more of a round, complete player, where he at times will play defense for you and the forward position, back checking. So he's good at that. Not that Max wasn't, but Max was more as far as skating wise.
Max,
but I think they were
at center ice at times.
Yeah, yes.
I would bust on him about
yeah, exactly.
Playing defense.
Yes.
And I do agree. Connor does play 2 ways.
Yeah.
Which is, I think he did get an award one time.
Yes, he did. I think it was last year, the year before he got an award for us. But those 3 players, I think, between Max, Connor, and Bleischer were probably the best top 3 players that I've coached.
Looking back, any decisions that you made that, in hindsight being 2020, you would change now?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, as far as coaching and the guys that helped me on the team, the other coaches, I wouldn't change anything. I'd like Mike to join us. I tried to get him back with us, but he kind of... I don't understand. He went to Cherokee. He went to the dark side. I don't understand that. I mean, that's just not right. Now, with Eastern, I'm sure the alumni is not going to like him for that either.
No, he's taking a beating on Facebook. I will say that. But I will say that when he talked about going back into coaching, him and I did have a conversation, and he did miss it. And I don't think there was any openings at the time at Eastern.
No, there was.
So
we could use help anytime.
Definitely use
We could always use help.
I think it's too late.
Yeah,
He's turned.
He's turned to the dark side.
He's even wearing a Cherokee jacket.
I saw that. I left the building, got sick in the corner.
What about, do you have the team that you thought was the best team and they never did win the championship? I know it's only been 4 years. Like last year probably was your best team.
Yeah, so far I would say that last year was the best team. But I think this year we as far as talent-wise, as far as equaling the lines, I think we have a little more talent. But I think last year would probably be the best talented team we've had so far.
Is there anyone that we should look out for other than, I mean, we know Connor and all.
We have a lot of freshmen. I mean, even our goalie is a freshman. He's played really well the first 3 games he's been in there. He's played really well, surprisingly, because I didn't expect that from a freshman, but he's actually played really well for us. And then you have, you know, Mike Pomerantz, or I'm sorry, Sean Pomerantz, that's a freshman. Stein, Jordan Stein, Trapeo, who's a senior that transferred over from Bishop Eustace, is a Paul Six. And he's a senior this year, so he transferred over first year with us. And he's by far probably the best defenseman we've had. since Will Cowan. But he should be a player to look out for this year.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he's a senior, but he's one of the better defensemen that we've had.
So this Pomerantz kid, I know he's scoring a lot at the JV level because he had 4 goals in one game, if I remember correctly. And he's only a freshman?
He's only a freshman, yeah.
So he could be a...
Yeah, there's a lot of kids at the freshman level, and then I think the 8th graders that are moving up also. There's a lot of talent that we have lined up. And
for the Vikings.
Yeah. Maybe Mike will come back now.
Probably. I wouldn't take him. He's already determined. So who would you say is your biggest rival?
It's got to be Cherokee by far.
Cherokee?
Yeah, Cherokee would be the top rival. And I think not only because of the competition on the ice, but even school-wise, I think Cherokee's a big competitor of Eastern, so it kind of rolls over to the ice. And you know what? Even the first game we had against Cherokee, which was last Friday night, you know, during a regular season game, there's probably 200 people that showed up, and most of the student body from both schools. So it's really nice to see, and the kids love it. I mean, it's nice to see the kids come out and support their school. Not only that, I think the kids really enjoy playing for their school, especially the Eastern kids. It's kind of nice.
Do they promote the game at the school?
That's a sore subject for us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've tried to have them support us just by announcing it at the school. We presented it to the board twice, and both times we've been turned down from the superintendent, actually, not the board, but the superintendent of Eastern.
Make an announcement, they won't do it?
They won't do it. They came back with us with, in my opinion, a bad excuse that insurance purposes they can't do it. So I think it's right. We've been trying to push it even further. Now that we have some friends in higher places, maybe they could help us with that. Not only for us, but for all the schools. I'm not sure why they don't promote it. You know, it's one of the sports that you have so many kids show up to come watch.
Right.
You know, look at football; they draw a lot of fans, but I think even with the hockey, we'd probably draw close, if not more, than they draw for a football game.
I ran into an old Viking player that played for Pontonia back in the 90s as you were coming in tonight, and he said the same thing. They didn't advertise. What he would do, they would print out flyers and go to everybody's locker and put the flyer in the locker, come see the Vikings play. At that time it was at the Coliseum. And that place was always packed.
Yeah. We really promote it on social media now. That's a huge part for us because with our website for our team, we promote it on Twitter, Facebook, and even Connor, he kind of pushes it too with his friends.
Right.
With
word of mouth.
Exactly, word of mouth at school. So it's kind of nice to see.
Flyers Cup. I mean, Mike and I have been on the committee for years. It used to be that teams didn't take pride in getting selected to play the Flyers Cup. We've tried to fight that stigma over the years. What's your thoughts on the Flyers Cup?
As far as my team, we've showed up every year. You know, this is, like I said, this is our 3rd year that we've played Flyers Cup. Last year was the 3rd year we played.
Made it to the finals.
Yeah, we did. And it was tough. The Delaware team, I can't think of their name off. It's Louisiana, thank you. We're very tough. But all of our kids always show up for it. They look forward to that cup. It's kind of like a high school tournament that they like to participate in, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, now they've included the teams from Delaware, so and we are trying to grow it, and hopefully the attendance isn't what I'd like it to.
No, and the other thing is that I think the last 2 years, we've always played in Delaware, so it's tough for our fans to drive all the way to Delaware.
Right.
And the games are early, 6, 7 o'clock on a Friday night. It's tough to get down there.
It's tough traffic.
Yeah, so that's been somewhat of a challenge, but again, all of our players show up for the game, and they're always willing to play and really have fun with it.
All right, so my last question is something I usually ask everyone. Is tell us something about yourself that would surprise us.
I actually am identical twin brother, so if a Cherokee coach sees it, wants to punch somebody, as long as it's my brother, I'm okay with it, yeah.
Did you ever try and have your brother come show up at a practice?
No, but there's times when I'm out and people will walk up and say, hey, my wife and kids will walk away and they'll be, Frank, what are you doing? Like, no, I'm not Frank, I'm Anthony, so I don't have two wives and other kids.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so.
All right, well, appreciate the time. Anything else you want to tell us about the team?
No, I'm just, like I said, we got a great group of kids this year. We're looking forward to the season. We're 3 games in. We're 2-1. Great game against Cherokee last Friday. we're just really looking forward to the season, and I know the kids are, because they really enjoy playing for their school and playing with their buddies.
Awesome.
So we're looking forward to it.
Appreciate the time, Coach.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Thank you.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
All right, we're back. We're here with Connor Riley from Eastern High School. Connor, tell me a little bit about yourself, other than your playing career.
Well,
With Eastern, I mean.
Well, I'm a senior for Eastern Ice Hockey team.
Okay.
I played Jags. I've played Comcast, AA, AAA, basically anything. And yeah,
Okay.
it's our senior year.
All right. Connor, tell me what it's like playing without Max this year.
It's different, but I think we can adjust to it well.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be a different style of play, but as a whole, I think we're going to come together.
All right,
A
as
little
a
more?
team, full
Yes.
team, right? Okay. All right. Who's the coach that influenced you most over the years? Who was the biggest influence as a coach?
Probably Steve McCloskey.
Okay, and where's he from? What club? Or?
He coached Flyers Youth for a couple years.
Okay.
I don't think he does anymore.
No,
But
okay.
we connected really well, and we're still friends today.
Well, that's great. That's
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome.
In the whole league, what team do you consider your biggest rival?
Well, obviously Cherokee. It's always been Cherokee.
Okay. So Cherokee's your biggest
Yeah.
rival.
For
Why would you
fans,
say
for
that?
us,
For the fan purpose and
for
all?
the fans, and for us. I mean, Cherokee and our team, we know each other very
Right.
well. So I mean, that's always fun, and the fans, they get
How
into
about
it.
Cherry
the
Hill
most.
East? Were they ever competitive with you?
I mean, they were, but these past couple of years we haven't played them. So
Right.
I mean, they were, but since they're not a pure team, I guess we don't play them now.
Right. Well,
So-
they used to be our biggest rivalry back in the day.
Yeah.
Cherry Hill East.
It'd be cool to play them more.
Well, you'll play them tonight. See
Yeah.
what happens. Once you graduate, what are your plans other than hockey?
Well, I mean, I want to play hockey, but also I'd rather go to college instead of play juniors. So I'm definitely
Which
going
is
to go to
smart.
college.
When I used to coach, that's what I used to recommend to my players:
Yeah.
get an education. I always say that, and that's
Yeah.
smart.
I think college is definitely
Right.
what I'm going
You know
towards.
where you want to go?
I really like Syracuse. I like
Really?
Delaware, UConn, Penn State, kind of.
So I'm assuming you've been applying.
Yeah, I've been applying.
Good for you. And who's your biggest influence in your life?
Definitely my dad, because
dad,
he
okay.
taught me how ice hockey. He's teach me basically everything since I was a
Really?
kid.
Was he ever? Did your dad play ice hockey?
Yeah, he played in high school a little bit, in college for like club team.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah, and-
I know your dad well, and I never knew that.
He coached me like the first, I think, I'd say 4 or 5 years,
Right.
starting at my day. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, where do you see yourself in about 5 years from now?
Hopefully a good job
Wow, that's good
out of
for you.
college.
You'll be out of 4 years.
And hopefully, if anything, if I don't play in college, then I'll be playing like any type of hockey.
Okay, tell us something that would surprise us about yourself.
I have a house in Kansas.
Yeah, we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're a hunter, I hear.
Yeah, we are a hunter. We just
you,
built it, so.
Big hunter? Your dad taught you
Yeah,
how
my
to
dad
hunt and all?
mostly, yeah.
That's
so
good.
he taught me.
That's great.
Yeah, it's been cool.
And I also had the honor that people don't know, Connor actually worked for me this summer.
Yeah.
People didn't know that, but
That was great.
yeah.
What kind of boss is he?
Yeah, what kind of boss was that? But that's great. Okay, we're here with Connor Riley, and thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, great. We're back. That was really neat to talk to both Eastern guys, Connor Riley and...
Yeah, it's different now that, all the years I ran Eastern, from 1986 all the way up to 2000, about 4 years ago, 2014, and actually Tony, who took the club over, is doing a great job
Doing
with
a
the club.
great job.
Excellent
It's
job.
amazing. 4 years, they won 2 titles. It's good to see the
Right.
program back.
And they've been in the championship all 4 years. That's, like bring back the old days. That's great.
Does it still bother you that you get razzed that you went to Cherokee and all those?
No, it don't bother me. My players, they like breaking them for me, but no, I don't. None of my, they're not serious. I hope you're not serious.
I've seen some of those Facebook posts.
Well, that's Pete.
Yeah, Pete.
My assistant coach, Pete. He thinks I did it for a free jacket.
So, speaking of, a lot of Cherokee, not Cherokee, Eastern and
Cherokee.
East, right?
No. Yeah, Eastern and Cherry East, alumni for them is going to be the past 4 years, the new Eastern team that Tony
Okay.
took over. That's going to be on this side with, Cherry East. And then the other side's going to be the old Eastern, the years when I coached.
So the old
We're going to
Vikings
we're going to be
against
playing Cherokee High School, and we're going to play Cherokee. And by the way, there's my players looking at me.
So what I'd like to do is maybe we can grab players.
Yes.
Where they're at now and
Okay.
what kind of shape they're in.
Yes. Well, some of them are good shape, and some of them, like Pete would say, well, I was
Yeah.
a bloated tick.
Why don't we take a break, and then when we come back,
Yes.
we'll have some
We'll interview some of the alumni. Yep.
players. We do have a couple sponsors. We do have Key Vax at Training Aspects. Great guy. I suggest everyone check out his site. Right? Great.
Yeah.
Does a great job with some of these kids here on the hockey team.
Right.
And the Wings of Steel. Go to wingsofsteel.org if you want to make a donation to my favorite sled hockey team. You can always use the money. Those sleds are $650.
You want to explain what the Wings of Steel is? Some people may not.
Sled hockey is for disabled kids. They're mounted on a bucket seat and belted in. And we play here at the Skate Zone in Voorhees. The ice is very expensive. Most of these kids are disabled, as you know. And they practice every week, so it costs us thousands of dollars for the ice.
Right.
Any donation would be accepted.
They're fun to watch. They're definitely fun to watch. And we take some of the high school teams, JVs, middle schools, and we actually put the kids in the sleds
Right.
and play them. And I know our high school kids think they're going to go out and tear them up, and it never happens that
Never
way.
happens. It's
Never. These kids in the sleds beat them all the time.
So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have some alumni guys to interview. Stay right there. And we're back. We're here with two Eastern alumni, Anthony Orner and Danny Myers. They both played for Pontonio back in the early 2000s, Mike?
2000, 2001, 2004.
So,
Before that middle school program.
wow, you are old. So, Anthony, I know you were a forward, right? And probably one of the best lines that Eastern had was Sullivan, Tunstall, and Orner.
Yep.
What can you tell us about back in those days? What do you remember?
Well, it was such a fun time. So Dan and I, we played series hockey for 4 of the days of the week, and then we had 2 days of the week where we would come here and just have a blast.
Have fun.
And we had nothing but fun.
Is that how you remember it, Dan?
Absolutely. Yeah, I look forward to this more so than a lot of the club stuff. Because club stuff, it's very, not to say high school hockey wasn't intense, I actually found it, because we were always in contention, I took it very seriously, but the club had a different aura where it was more business-like, where this was just, you just enjoyed coming here, you're surrounded by great coaches.
When you guys look back, right now, I can ask you guys, when you look back and you look at your hockey clubs, you look more back at your high school or your club teams? Which more memories to you?
I would say high school.
I think I enjoyed the high school aspect
Right.
more. It's just more fun. I mean, it's the game should be fun. And,
You get to be a kid again.
Right.
Like Dan was saying, it's a business. Like, you have a role when you're you have a role when you're playing at a club level. And like for me, I scored here. I was not so much a
You
scorer.
were on a big
the club
scorer on
side.
a club side?
So it was like, it gave me more time, more opportunity to develop something.
and also with the high school aspect, at that age with you hockey, it's your parents are there and that's it. Like in high school you get to play in front of your peers and friends and socially it kind of feels better.
Do you think that atmosphere had a lot to do with the coaching staff that you guys had? I know you had Mike and you had
Well,
Lumbus.
these two guys were like a traveling comedy act. Yeah, I mean, this is a question for these two
So
guys.
half the fun was actually just messing with the coach.
Yes,
And the other half was to play hockey.
I do remember that sometimes Mike would be a little upset with you guys, with you especially, Anthony, because I was in the box.
I was intense into it.
You were intense, and Rumbus and Pete.
Yeah.
Well, Rumbus left in '03 and went to Cherokee, and it's just Pete and I in '04.
That was
Pete.
That made it a little more fun.
Yeah.
All the Eastern teams that I coached, I had 2 good teams back in '97 and '98 that did very well, or '98, '99 did really well, won the championship. And then we had the '03, which we weren't favored that year. That was Clearby was supposed
Right.
to be,
Yeah.
but I remember that. Remember when they sucked us down to Vineland and we took a bus down there and took all the kids? We ended up.
we had a bunch of fans come down.
We took the bus, we had all our
That was
friends with
intense,
us.
and I remember that. But the best year I have to say was the '04 year. That was a lot of fun that year. I like dealing with Pete and I. Just were the only two coaches on the bench. We had a lot of fun, and I know you guys have a lot of memories with Pete.
I remember that '04 year. The '03 year, I had to really play. The '04 year was cruise control for me. I mean, it was like our forward.
They scored a lot of goals.
Yeah, I mean, I had to make a few saves here and there, but that was '04 year. I was just
We won '03, and then we lost 2 players that, I mean...
What were the players we lost?
It was Delaro and Frobert.
Right, that's right.
So, like, the majority of our best players stuck around,
Right.
so it was just like everyone else lost their good players. We just won and then kept basically every player.
That team gelled so well in '04. What I was afraid was going to happen is the same thing. Back in '97, '98, and '99, I had 2 really good teams. And in 2000, that was the prime. We had more players to it, added to it.
Right.
They couldn't gel. It just was a bad year for them. That was their year. They were favored. They just couldn't put it together.
Did you feel a lot of pressure, Dan, because you were like the best goalie in the league back then? Everyone else was a lot, below you. Did you feel a lot of pressure back then because you were considered the top goalie in the league?
My freshman and sophomore year, absolutely, because I came in, people were saying, "Oh, Danny Meyer's on the team," and I played a little too hard, and we just as a unit and myself, we weren't ready. And then '03, we still weren't favored. We were good.
Yeah.
And then we all played very well, and then we were kind of a Cinderella story in '03, and then '04 the team exploded, and like I said before, I didn't have to do much.
I think if I remember correctly, you carried them in '03.
03
It was your year.
Yeah,
If I
exactly.
It was Dan.
Yeah.
Really well.
And then '04, you guys were just scoring like 5, 6, 7 goals a game.
Yeah.
I know that Sullivan and Orner and Tunstall line was
That line was just phenomenal.
was
I
tremendous.
remember the headline. It was Orner, Tunstall, and Sullivan. Oh my! And it was after we won a big game.
Well, thank you. That was me.
It was you. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember that.
Every once in a while, if I'm feeling down, I pull up some of your stories, makes me feel good.
Where do you even find those?
I'll pay for the server for like the next 20 years so I can show my
Okay,
kids.
we got that on camera. Make
We'll
sure.
always be there.
So what are you doing now? I mean, after you got done playing, what did you do?
So honestly, my hockey career after high school, like I had tried out for a few teams. I got some looks, and then I kind of burned out. I was
were
done. And then I actually stopped playing for 3 years. So from like 18 to 21, I didn't even step on the ice.
Wow.
Yeah, and then now I'm just
The men's league?
men's league and stuff like that.
How about yourself, Dan?
I burned out, but I kept playing. So I played juniors and I played in college. And after college, I had hip surgery. The intention was to play professional. And during that time, during rehab, I started up a training business for goalies and players.
He trained Isaac.
Yeah, I
Oh,
trained
Isaac Glacier.
Yeah. So
Very good
I've been
goalie.
doing that for years and years and years, and I played a few minor league games here and there.
Weren't you the emergency goalie for the...
Yeah, still am. I have a
Still
game.
are?
I'll be there.
That's
Oh,
great.
really?
Yeah, emergency goalie for the Devils. I'll be there Friday against the Islanders.
So they give you a stipend for that?
They treat you really well.
That's good.
They set you up for the game and all that stuff. If you go in, they give you the contract all
great.
right there on the
That's awesome.
spot.
So now you're married, right?
Married, yeah.
You got a kid?
No.
That was your
Maybe
brother.
soon. Yeah, my brother
Okay.
Keith, who was a '99 champion.
Yes, Keith was with us.
He'll be here tonight with our nephew, or
Okay.
his son, our nephew, and so that'll be nice to get us all together.
Yes. And Anthony, you're engaged. Congratulations.
Engaged?
Yes.
And get
Wow.
October.
October.
Yeah.
Look for the invitation, Mike.
Yeah. I gotta get your address while I'm here.
So I don't know if you guys know what sled hockey is.
Yes, of course.
So we do, sometimes we play, like last year we played Cherokee, or you guys could get in a sled and play, against our sled hockey team, if you're interested.
Very interested.
Did you guys do that in middle school time we took a middle school team, we played there
No, I never played on
years
sled.
ago. Was it you guys?
Are
Okay.
you sure? I'm having like...
We did it, we had a middle school, I'm going back
We
when
didn't do
Primo was on the team and all. I mean, you were before.
We were way before
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Way before.
I
Yeah.
remember doing that when you were.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys get in a sled. My grandson plays, been on the team for 12 years, and we do games every year, pickup games with...
Yeah, absolutely.
We play, so yeah, that'd be great.
That'll be work out.
So anything any fond memories you have of Pontonio coaching you guys back then?
I'm one, if I may.
Yes, absolutely.
I remember it's the first and only time in my career I've been in the net, and occasionally you glance at the bench, and the only time I've ever seen my head coach on a cell phone in the middle of the game.
What?
Yeah.
You sure that wasn't Bill Flowers?
Yeah.
I don't even think I had a cell phone.
One of those flippers
A
that you
flip
can't
phone?
read.
Oh my God, Mike. That's not good. How about you, Anthony?
Nothing specific. It really like we just, like I said, we like
They had a lot of fun.
And half the fun was messing with Mike, and sometimes it's easier than other, but like just the color you could see in this guy's face sometimes. It's just
When he was
really
pissed?
amazing. Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I will say that back then he was probably, he did not argue with the referees, and he was the one guy that kept his cool more so than some of the other coaches that I could think of, and he still today does the same thing, although now he's with Cherokee coaching them. How do you guys feel about that he went to the dark side?
You know what? I don't mind, actually.
You don't mind?
It's
Oh,
fun.
thank you.
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I'm sure you can tell he's taking a lot of flack for it. But
Yes.
No, I don't mind. I'm so happy to see the league still thriving, and
Yeah,
you guys are doing a good job.
Yeah,
with
it's
it.
doing pretty well.
A lot of teams.
Mike does it for the league.
He does.
He does.
Yes.
He's given a lot of his time and a lot of, just heart and soul into this league. And even 20 years later, was it 30 years, 40 years? I forget. I stopped counting after 50.
20. Well, we've been here 21.
I was 21 years old. I'm 53 now.
You're 53?
Yeah.
Damn.
Tell everybody.
Wow.
It's got that on the brass.
All right, well, appreciate your guys' time. You guys are playing tonight.
Yes,
Yes.
we are.
Are you playing Cherokee?
Yes, playing Cherokee.
So what bench are you going to be on, Mike?
Of course I'm going to be with my alumni.
Okay, I'm just asking. All right, appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Anthony.
Thanks a lot.
Dan.
Thank you, sir.